Hey everyone, hoping everyone is good, hoping everyone is well. I want to share something with you. The last 2.5, 3 weeks have been hard for me. If anyone knows anything about grief and bereavement, you know that it has its ebbs and flows, it's up and down, and it feels as if some days you're good and others you're not. One of the first TikTok videos that I shared went viral. It was by happenstance. I was just really in my feelings and needed to purge. And it surrounded the element of the number 717 and how it is consistently in the orbit of my life. And so I'll briefly explain. July 17th, 1993, I lost my father. I was 10 years old. He was 38. 10 years later, I had my son, my oldest son, Josiah, July 17th, 2003. And then as things would have it, 17 years later, July 17th, 2020, I lost my mom. 717 is also one of those numbers that I can be in my element doing something and I just happen to look at my phone to see what time it is and 717 pops up. I can be in traffic and look at a license plate and I'll see 717. There's been so many occurrences where I see numbers that are congruent with 7 and 17. And what I know in my life is that 7 is a representation of completion. And so I just take it as what it is. But this past month in July has been incredibly hard. Even though last year I was good, I had intentionally prayed so that God could really just hold my heart and not allow me to go into the depths of pain of missing two people that were pivotal in my life. I also shared in a previous episodes ago, that I was also adopted. My adopted parents are deceased. My biological mother died when she was 34, and my biological father died in his early 50s. So another thing that always bothers me, etches at my soul as well, is that I didn't see the longevity or experience the longevity in life with people around me. And to add on that, my biological brother, Ken, died short of his 40th birthday. We were 2 years apart. I really got to the point where in my thoughts, because I am an overthinker and I will honestly and openly share that, I got to a place where I found myself getting to a point of depression. And I had to really move myself out of it because these monumental people in my life were taken very soon. My father was in so many ways what I consider a man. My father was very quiet. He was reserved, but he was one with knowledge and wisdom. And I think that he really just poured all that he could pour into me in the time that he had, because I know for sure many family members have shared that he just always said that he wasn't going to live on earth for a long time. And when I think about it, I think about all of the things that he said and did with me. There was an intentional way of loving me. My father was one of love where, I'll share this because listen, this is the Black experience for a lot of people. When you are disobedient, you get spanked or whooped, and my dad did not do it unless it was absolutely feasible. And many times I loved the fact that he would talk to me. He would talk to me, directly talk to me and tell me exactly where I went wrong and why he was so frustrated with the choices that I made or the attitude that I had or the things that I did. My mother and father were polar opposites in the way that they conducted themselves when it came to discipline. While my father was more of a talkative person and reasoning, my mother was one where discipline was first and foremost. So if there was an issue, there was a problem, she made sure that she dealt with it right then and there. And sometimes her vocal abilities of saying things hurt to the core. My mother was hard in her approach. She was just in what she said. But what I always loved about my mother was her strength and her fortitude beyond what she experienced in her life, and those life lessons and the things that I often think about really brings me to a place of peace and love. In many moments, as I shared to my mother and I struggled to have a decent and relatable relationship. There were things that I didn't know in the time that we were having qualms and issues, where my mother was dealing with some deep-seated, deep-rooted things. And because I didn't know, I wasn't abreast with the information. I really believe that the mother who adopted me and wanted to take care of me and did take care of me, that she really had an issue, a personal issue with me. But what I came to find out later was that my mother never seeked the help that she needed. She didn't heal from so many things that she experienced as a child and in her adulthood. And it really put me in a place later of just giving her grace, loving her more beyond her demise and her death, and also understanding that my mother was trying to do the very best that she could. Grief is so hard in so many ways because there are so many unsaid things to the person, whether it was that relationship was good or bad. There's an emptiness there. There is a place where you can't find that person anymore in the relevance of touch, feel, smell, the relevance of conversations. Mother's Day and Father's Day have definitely been hard for me. But because my father had passed years ago, it's kind of like, I'm just used to it. But there are moments where I find myself maybe observing a little girl and her dad, and me reminiscing on the moments where my father was absolutely everything to me. And there are moments when I cry, but I am so thankful that in this lifetime I can be a mother, present mother in the life of my boys, and that I get to show someone, some people, some little people that I made, that I love them so much. My biggest fear, in all honesty, is not the fear of death, but the fear that I don't fulfill all of the things that I had written down in my little book. That I don't get to make the impression that I need with my children. I want to see my boys grow old. I want to see a surplus of grandchildren. I want to experience life experiences with the people that I love. And I want to be here and dedicated to everyone who is in the orbit of my circle. The hardest thing about losing someone is that there will always be a hole in the heart, that their presence, it really solidified the congruence of feeling and knowing exactly who they are. I don't get to see my parents' facial expressions when they're happy, sad, or in dismay. I don't get to have the long, in-depth talks with my father, who was wise beyond his years. Again, my dad was 38, but when I say that he talked to me in length about life, and y'all, I was 8, 9, 10 at this time. But when I say that I just know that his intentional purpose was to round me out to be this person that he's seen. And not having those moments to call my mom. Because listen, my mother was good at, if I really needed to talk, get deep into woman type stuff sometimes. My mother was very just versed in womanhood, in the way in which she was abrupt and real, and satisfied a lot of what I needed. Her approach was different. But now that I look back at it as a woman that is 41, though I took it as harsh, my mother was who she was, and she taught me so much. And now at the age of 41, I still find myself wanting to hear her honesty, her depth, and the evolution of being a woman. And also there are just moments where I don't even know what the hell I'm doing many times. There are moments when I just pull for my father to really embrace the little girl in me. He did it so well. There are times when I just need my father to be here and to say that everything is going to be okay. There was something in the way that he reassured me in every aspect of my life, that I knew that everything was going to be good. That I miss the most. When we lose people, we lose the experience. We lose the opportunity to hear them again. We lose the opportunity to be close to them again. I often think at the visualization of both my parents, my father and my mother, of sitting across from them in their casket. And I remember at 10 years old, I was so enamored and so just emotionally driven. It just happened so quickly, and I couldn't believe that my father was gone. I remember being at the funeral and just thinking that this was the last time that I was going to see my dad. And when they closed the casket and put him in the ground, life as my family knew it was absolutely different. When my mother died, my brother and I were asked to touch the lid of her casket and close her down. And at that very moment, I still remember I still remember getting so emotional. Because this was the finalization of two parents that I had known for forever. And this was a chapter that was closed. I could not say enough. I couldn't do enough. I couldn't love enough in that moment. My brother, 7 years younger than me, held me, grasped me, whispered it was going to be okay. And I was literally losing my mind and my body as I had to close the lid of my mother's casket and realize that life was going to be different. I remember last year thinking of all of the people that I didn't get to know, didn't get to see. I often thought about how heaven is, and my prayer was that my biological mother got to meet my adopted mother, and my biological father got to meet my adopted father, and that they would have a conversation and that they would meet each other. And I don't know, I just had this roundabout feeling where I wanted everything to be in peace. I didn't have a go-to, I was always searching for something that solidified this place of peace that I needed within myself. I don't take away from the experience of having two great parents who really reared me into being who I am at this present moment. But I will say that there are moments where I just wish that if God took the ability for me not to know my biological mother, that he had given me more time to have my adopted parents. Because in this place in my life where I feel like I'm rapidly growing and rapidly seeing things and experiencing things, I so need my parents. And the responsibility is bared, utilized in my hands. But on the other side, I also take that as God saying, everything that I did for a purpose. And that now it's your turn to build something when it comes to the 3 children that you bore out of your womb and the next generations to come. When I think of loss and grief, I think of the opportunity of starting over, the opportunity of delving into the information and the values and the morals that someone brought to us so that we can transfer and share it out into the world. But I'll be honest, in the moments where I'm thinking clearly, thinking intentionally with good mind and good references, there are also moments where I'm extremely at the bottom, where I find myself in corners and in my bedroom and on my sofa crying like a 5-year-old child wanting her parents. It hit me hard this year for whatever reason. I thought I was over it. I thought I had dealt with it. I am still trying to make sense of the various ways in which emotions fluctuate when it comes to loss. And all I know is that when you miss someone, you just miss them. And there is really no conclusion or resolution on it. It's just that is a part of life. One of the other things that many of you don't know is that my husband owns a funeral home. And so I'm very active in being there, participating, being back there with the deceased. There are moments that I have prayed over young people. I have sung to them. I feel their spirits. There are the moments when I have to take a break, when I see families come in heartbroken. The element of hurt and shock, and also the dismemberment of families who, in that very hour, can't get it together, even in the means of ensuring that their loved one is buried and taken care of. It is a place, an element, a space that I didn't think that I would ever find myself in. There's a part of healing in that as well. Every moment, every hour, every experience of going to someone's house and picking up their body or at the hospital and seeing their last impression on their face, holding and loving on people in their darkest hour, wiping tears away from people that I know and those that I don't know, praying with them as they earnestly squeeze my hand, as they are trying to grasp the reality of what death feels like, and experiencing a loss that takes the breath away. I want to encourage you today that life is literally so short, y'all. We have a small amount of time to be here and make an impact, make a purpose, develop what it is that we are here to gain, and connect with people who really mean something to us. That is why in every message, everything that I say, it is poured into every element of you, because I need you to understand that you matter, that this life that we have, we don't know what it is beyond this, but as sitting in our bodies and being in this space, you have to be purposeful with what you do and what you say. You have to have meaningful connections, and those that do you no justice. Please have enough love within you to decide whether you want to stay or whether you want to go. Life is so short that we don't have longevity in making decisions where our mental capacity takes a toll. Life is so short, and the availability of being in this time span that we have is a blessing. But we don't have time to waste on the things that God has appointed us to do. We don't have time to consume ourselves in devilment, consume ourselves in wayward substances that makes us forget the traumas or the triggers or the things that makes us cry at night. In this life, we are purposed to follow through. We are purposed to help other people. We are purposed to love. We are purposed to be intentional. We are purposed to stand up. We are purposed to be here. And we are purposed to share our story with someone else. If you lost someone, my prayer is that you remember every single memory, that you find a moment to go through every single picture. My prayer is that the loss was not so great, that you harbor unforgiveness, that you still have hate, that you have disillusion. My prayer is that you find grace, forgiveness, and resolution. And the things that were not said, the things that were not did are done, and the things that were not given to you. People can only provide you with what they have, and that is a better understanding now that I understand what my parents experience, my biological and my adopted parents. This is why I feel that life happened the way it did, and I am so self-aware of people and their actions and their behaviors. And I love them beyond what they do or what they gave, because I understand the full-fledged definition of capacity. And in this lifetime, y'all, in this lifetime, you may not always get it right. You may not always do good, but intentionally try to do good when it comes to other people. Try to live your life and walk in a path that when people talk about you, they speak nothing but goodness about you. That the people that you touch, it's heart-warmed, it's overwhelming, it's nothing but peace, understanding, wisdom. It is what they need. And if you find yourself in disarray or disgruntled with someone or a disconnect, always take the lead role and listen, watch your mouth. Watch what you say, watch what you do in the pairing of others. Sometimes choosing to just simply walk away from situations that are just too tough and just too much will save you so much heartache. Your life is full of purpose. The dash in between tells the story. When you are gone, you are gone. Even though I feel and know that my parents are here in the spirit realm, because I smell my father. I smell him often. And my mom, I do believe she comes and visits me every now and then. I do believe that we live in the spirit realm, but the physical we won't see again. What does your life mean? What is your purpose? How do you define it? What are you working towards? Think about the people that you lost and the hole that it provided you in your heart. And think about how you want to replace it with a legacy for yourself, for your children, for the future to come. I didn't really have a title while saying this out loud. I needed to get this out because I felt like I just needed to get it out. I couldn't write it. Not how deep I feel this right now. I just needed to say it because I needed to get it off my chest. I needed God to hear me out loud. I know this was for someone. I pray you find resolution. I pray you find peace. I pray you find gentleness. I pray you understand that the loss of someone, you couldn't prevent it. You couldn't. When it's their time, it's their time. I pray you love harder. You know, a lot of people say that after they lose someone, I'm going to love people harder and I'm going to do this. And then they go back to their ways. I want us to be intentional about what it is that we do and how it is that we flow. I pray this episode was for someone. Goodness gracious. I pray it gave you understanding. I pray it mended your heart. I pray that you are here still believing, and I pray that you are fighting for your life in the essence of being purposeful, being a vessel, and being one of love. All right, that's it. Bye-bye.